Security cameras caught a white orb wandering around the gym.
There was a 8 to 10 foot hairy man-looking person.
If you noticed strange lights in the sky over the weekend, you aren't alone.
It's time for News from the Fringe on the All Out Show.
Oh, man, we got a good one for you today. We got Jam DeBord here. What's up, Jam DeBord?
Hey, man. How you doing, Jude?
I'm good. Welcome to the show. You interpret dreams. How'd you get into that?
You know, it's a long story. I'll make it real short for you. I found that I had a talent for it, but it started off just out of wanting to explore, wanting to know more about myself and the world around me. And I found that dreams are it's like a portal into your inner life. So started there, man, and I just started talking to, people who were famous at this stuff. Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, well, not talking to them, but, reading their stuff. And now I'm on Reddit, and I spent, 8 years there helping people understand their dreams, and it really resonates. So, now I got.
So you're on Reddit?
Yeah, man.
What's your latest book?
My latest book is the Dream Interpretation Dictionary: Symbols, Signs, and Meanings.
I guess doesn't Young kind of touch on this, but you can explain it to me better. Like, all right, let's say to you a belt means to hold up your pants because you always had your pants held up by a belt, but to me it means an ass whooping from my father. So if I see a belt in my dream, wouldn't it be something different to me than it would be to you?
Yeah, that's right. And that's really the art of dream interpretation is figuring out what's the source of the symbolism. It's usually seen somewhere in the dream itself. Like if you are, getting that ass whooping from dad and you see the belt in your dream and you react like, oh boy, here it comes, then that's probably what the symbolism means. It's connected to dad and the ideas of punishment and pain, but if the belt is wrapped around the waist of a martial arts master, then a belt could mean some kind of ranking, So it really, It all depends really a lot on your feelings and how you react to seeing the symbol in the dream.
Kind of context instead of so it's deeper than just the actual symbol.
Yeah, man, and that's why I wrote it in my book. It's because there's a lot of dream dictionaries out there that just try to say, well, if you dream about a belt, this is definitely what it means. I'm like, no. You got to look at this in context. You got to understand it in, through your own life and your own experience and what these things mean to you, and then connect together the symbols in the story. The dream itself is telling you what the symbols mean. You just need to know how to connect it all together.
And how much of these dreams are like they actually mean some shit, or you're just processing, like maybe you're frustrated or something like that? I often hear people having like 20 different styles of anxiety dream, you know what I mean, where they're running, they can't keep up, or they're punching, it doesn't work, they're drowning, shit like that. What does that mean? Is it I guess how much of it is like a symbol for them, the future, and how much of it is them just processing the fucking day?
Most dreams are processing stuff from your day, but they can get to deeper layers where they kind of teach you lessons about yourself and your life. And then it can go into an even deeper layer where it's connecting you in with everyone else and everything, nature, God, community, everything, So most dreams, though, they're really about taking stuff from your day and helping you to understand what's happened in your life, kind of reviewing it for you. And I tell you, man, a lot of it is really, it's trying to help you to vent and release. If you get all built up with stuff from the day and then you have a wild anxiety dream that night, you might wake up the next day and be like, man, I'd rather just get some sleep. But really what the dream is helping you to do is clear all that stuff out of you so that you can take on the next day. Some people look at dreams that are, they don't appear to have any kind of meaning to them, and they say, well, all dreams are just random bullshit, But what I've found is that they're taking too much from those few dreams that don't mean anything, and they're discounting the dreams that really do have meaning and significance to them.
What about psychic dreams? I know a gang of people. I've had psychic dreams. What do you think about those? Are they possible?
This was go ahead.
Yeah, are they? One, do you believe in them? And two, if not, why?
After years of studying this subject and having those dreams myself, I know that you can dream about things that are going to happen in the future. But here's the thing, is it's previewing something. It's not necessarily showing you a prophecy. It's not something that's written in stone. What it's really doing is it's showing you, hey, this is a possibility for the future, and now you have the power to decide whether or not you want that to come true or not. Now, I will say, though, that if you dream about, someone close to you dying and then that ends up happening, like people can feel really guilty about that. You're like, well, I should have understood the dream and I should have warned the person that, this was going to happen. And you're not seeing it because you are being told that you have to act on it. These dreams can be really tricky, and they're much easier to understand after the fact. I was just on Reddit today, and there was somebody who had a dream that was remarkably like what happened in Vegas last night. It's not exactly the same, but you look at some of the details and you're like, wow, man, this person really could have dreamt about that ahead of time. And these kinds of really emotional events like the 9/11 attacks, there were a lot of people who dreamed about that ahead of time, and they saw the details down to a T, man. So, most people, it's not part of their reality, and that's fine. But I'll tell you this, Jude, everybody has these dreams. It's just that most people don't remember their dreams well enough to know that they do dream about the future.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. I think my first little psychic dream was I was like 4, and I predicted that we was going to have I don't know. I just dreamt that we were going to have a trampoline at my grandma's house. And then next time we went there, she had bought one for exercising because it was the 80s, and that's what people did. They got those little personal trampolines, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I was there. Well, not there at grandma's house, but yeah, I was there in the 80s. I remember that.
All right, so we got a gang. What do you think about like a lot of cats in the hood? They got the dream books where it's like you look at the symbols and then you play the numbers for the lottery. What do you think of that?
The lottery is really, there are cases where people have dreamed about winning lottery numbers or have had this feeling they woke up from a dream and said, today is my lucky day. They go and they play the lottery and they win. Well, people dream about this stuff all the time. And the first thing you have to look at is, well, there could have been some kind of coincidence. But I have on my site at dreams123.net, one of the most popular posts I have is about lottery dreams. And I have some links to ones where people had some amazing, overlap from the dream and then to the reality of actually winning the lottery. Now, I've had this dream, man, and I tell you what it was for me. It was telling me that I needed to do everything that I could do to put myself in a position to succeed. That lottery of life, you've been there.
But isn't that like every day you should do that shit, JM, though? Like, put yourself in a position of not be a fucking loser? Like...
Yeah, man, no doubt, but for me, it was taking opportunities to do shows, whether it's a big show like yours or Coast to Coast AM, or it's a small show on someone's podcast. You never know when someone's going to be listening who can say, I like what this guy has to say. Let's get this cat signed to our contract or bring him in to speak to our people or whatever it is. There's an opportunity that's there. And for me, the dream was saying, make sure I take all those opportunities, because in the dream, I had bought a ticket with all the winning numbers except for one missing number, and I realized I could have bought that number, but I chose not to. And when I reflected on my life, I said, I take most of the opportunities to put myself out there and to promote my work, but sometimes I don't think it's really worth it. And this dream is really telling me, hey, man, you never know when lightning's going to strike,
All right, let's go to the phone lines. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. Let's start with Denise. She's on line 8. Go ahead, Denise.
Hey, okay, so I was in a dream where I was on a plane and the plane crashed. It crashed in Amsterdam. I woke up the next day and I saw an article where there was a plane crash in Amsterdam, and everything in my dream was in the article.
Wow. That really, when you have that kind of overlap of detail, especially when it's very specific about time and place like that, it's hard to say that something like that's just a coincidence. I know somebody who had a dream about what was that earthquake down in Mexico, and we looked at, well, what's the connection between, you as the dreamer in Mexico? Well, it turned out that his family was from that area and he had loved ones down there. So that's why he, up here in the United States, dreamed about what happened in a faraway place. So I would ask you, Denise, do you have any kind of connection to Amsterdam? What does that city mean to you?
You smoke weed? You like a weed smoker? You like that? You get hookers? Do you get hookers in Amsterdam, Denise? Denise?
Huh.
We lost her. Hey, guys, can you do me a favor and let me know if it's a fucking question or a statement? Because that was a statement. Okay, let's go to Bob in Kentucky.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey,
Good, man.
I've been having dreams multiple times that I've been sleeping with my sister-in-law. Just curious what it is.
Can I ask a couple probing questions first, JM? Is it your wife's sister or is it your brother's?
Yes,
or is it your brother's wife? Okay, it's your wife's sister. All right, go ahead, JM.
Mm-hmm. When you have a dream like that, the first thing you have to do is realize that it is probably symbolism and that there is some kind of figurative, not literal thing going on there. Unless you have this, secret desire for your sister-in-law,
Do you?
then what you're really looking at is, what is sex? Sex is closeness and intimacy, and you can have closeness with people without necessarily sleeping with them. What dreams do, though, is they make connections between ideas. So the idea of sex, meaning very close to someone or something, is shown to you in the dream as actually having sex with them.
How's the pussy? How's the pussy feel in the dream? Is it good pussy?
Amazing.
All right, so it's good pussy, JM. So,
oh, yeah.
She got that bomb twat. What do you think about that?
Man, there's another possibility when you have a sex dream is that there's something about the person that's rubbing off on you. And if you think about sex and really the physical act of it, well, you're getting all dirty, so there's something about it that's rubbing off on you. And it really has nothing to do with the person that you're having sex with. What it is, maybe our dude here is learning some things about how to be maybe a little more relatable or a little more gentle or a little more, I don't want to say feminine as in girly, but everybody, every dude has a feminine side, and just feminine in the sense of maybe a little more relatable, a little more
nurturing,
gentle, a little more intuitive or moody or something like that. So
we haven't asked Bob the fucking $1 million question. Are you actually attracted to her?
Oh yeah,
you're right.
So he's actually attracted to her in real life, JM.
Yeah, man. What it could be, sometimes dreams like that, what they do is, Sigmund Freud said a lot of dreams are the secret desires and wishes coming to the surface when your filters are down. But there's another thing I found is that sometimes dreams will put you into, it's sort of like a virtual reality scenario to say, if this is really what you want, let's have you dream about it first before you act upon that desire or impulse to make sure it really is what you want.
Don't fuck her, bro. Bob.
Right.
Don't fuck your wife's sister, Bob. Listen to me. Don't do it, man.
Right.
Don't do it, bro. It's going to make Thanksgiving really fucking weird, man. Don't do that shit. Let's go to Big T in Iowa. Big T in Iowa on line 1.
Thanks for having me on. Hey, I get trapped in the top floor of a house, and there's no way to get out. There's no doors, no windows. As soon as I walk through the door disappears.
Damn. What do you think of that, JM?
Back from that, yeah, man, look at it simply. It's a story about you enter into a situation that you can't get out of. Now, how many different directions could you go in to connect that with something that could be going on in your life? You get into this relationship and now you can't get out of it. You're sucked in, or it could be that you're going down within yourself and you're not able to see out of yourself. It could show that you feel isolated or alone, because if you are trapped in a house that has no door and it has no way out, then that is an image of isolation. So oftentimes what I do with a dream is first is I boil it down to a simple idea and I turn it into a question, which is, are you being pulled into something that you can't get away from, or do you feel like you're isolated or alone? So let's ask the caller. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I'm getting married next year, so
you scared than a motherfucker. Hell no. Now is that like I guess the next thing is JM, is that like him warning himself, or is that just him fucking is it fear because he's stepping into a new realm, or is it him telling himself like, hey man, this ain't the one?
You know, what I see is that it's just reflecting back his feelings, and it's giving him something that he needs to work through before he actually ties the knot, you know? It's like, do you really want to do this? So you feel this way, like this might be like a ball and chain or something for you, you know, but that you feel that way now, but the dream is bringing it forward so that you really say to yourself, okay, I feel this way, I can accept that, now what? You know, can I work through this so that on that day that I do step up to the altar and marry this girl, I feel like I'm doing it with complete freedom?
You get pressured into that shit, Big T, or what? Or you just...
Nah, man, I'm like real excited about doing it, but I had this dream the other night. I woke up just fucking freaking because I was fucking trapped, you know, but...
Just, yeah.
I guess just having one pussy forever is always a little scary, you know?
Bro, you could always, you can always work something out. You can go to, use her mouth and her butthole. And then if you have to, go cheat. But don't bring nothing back. And they got hand jobs for mad cheap. That's my dream interpretation. Let's go to Beauty in Los Angeles.
Hello.
What's up, Beauty? You got JM DeBord here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So my question is, for the past 2 months, I have been having the same consistent dream of getting pregnant, but I don't know who, and having twins or triplets. And I don't know who the baby daddy is.
All right, so she was breaking up. So she was saying she keeps having dreams that she's getting pregnant and having triplets or twins with someone that are you getting fucked in the dream, or you just end up being pregnant?
No, I'm not getting fucked.
Too bad.
I just wind up getting pregnant and conceiving, yeah.
All right, JM.
You know, when people have a dream like that, the first thing that they tend to ask themselves is, you know, am I being shown that I'm going to be pregnant in the future? And the first thing you have to consider, unless you are sexually active and it's possible that you could be pregnant and don't know it, in which case, you know, you need to go take that pregnancy test and find out as soon as you can. But I can tell you the odds are against it, especially since, you know, if you just look at how many twins are born, like 1 out of 55 births or something, and triplets is like 1 out of 1,000 or more. You know, so really the odds are is that dream is symbolism for something. Now, you know, Jude, when people, you know, to say, hey, you know, when they use the word pregnant and meaning something other than actually having, you know, a bun in the oven, what do they mean by that? It can mean that they've got something in them that they want to get out. You know, the artists and creators often describe that feeling of having something in them, you know, whether it's a song or it's a painting or it's a book or whatever. They got this thing that they need to get out of them. And a baby is a creation. So I found this a lot with the tie-in with creativity. So really with this dream, I would start off with the idea of what do you feel like needs to come out of you in some kind of way? Are you pregnant with an idea? Are you anticipating something? And then apply the idea of it being I think she said triplets. You know, what is 3 of something that's going on in your life? I know a girl had a dream about having 5 babies, and when we stopped and started really analyzing what was going on in her life, she'd been given 5 projects for a computer programming class that she was in, and she said that she thinks of her projects as her babies. So it was right there, you know. It's just you have to step back from the literal interpretation of the imagery and understand what the dream is really saying through the symbolism.
All right, click back on Beauty. Let's ask her. Beauty.
Yeah.
Has anybody came inside of you lately?
No, I actually am not having sex with anyone at this time.
I could help you with that.
Pretty sure you could.
Do you have any, is there anything like that you're going to be making soon, or is there anything that you're working on, any creations?
I took up a new job. It's completely like out of something that I don't usually do. So it's something that's completely new to me, but I don't know, it's just lately, it's just kind of like over and over, it's the same exact dream.
Maybe that was it.
You could say triplets are repetition. Beauty, do you have any children?
No, I do not. I don't want kids.
So if you, in the dream, by having kids is something new to you, and you say that the job is also something new to you, and you're also saying the job involves repetition, and triplets, if you step back from it, you could look at it as being repetition. Are they identical? In the dream, are the babies identical?
No. So the first two are healthy, and then the dream goes like the third one I wind up having like a couple days later, and there's like a defect or something wrong with the baby.
Oh my God. Damn, that shit got bleak as fuck. How come you didn't say that part at the beginning? We could have had a whole different thing for you. So she's got like 2 normal kids and then 1 defective kid, she said.
John said make it short and sweet.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, it makes me wonder if maybe there are 3 aspects, main areas of the job, and 2 of them she feels comfortable with, and 1 of them she doesn't feel comfortable with. That would be the first place I would go with that.
All right, think about that for a little bit, Beauty. Good luck to you.
All right, thanks.
All right, man, we got a gang of people that got dream questions. We're gonna play some music, come back. JM DeBord. Shout out the name of your book one time, JM, so people can go check it out.
The Dream Interpretation Dictionary, Symbols, Signs, and Meanings. It's at all the major book retailers.
Congratulations, Dream Interpretation Dictionary. And you're also on Reddit. What's your Reddit shit?
Yeah, man, I'm Rat Owl at Reddit. You go to dreams.reddit.com, and I've been a moderator there for a long time. I can't answer every question or interpret every dream that comes in, but we have a lot of good people there. So, check it out. It's a good community of folks who are all interested in dreams.
It's blown up. Phone line's blown up. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. We're going to play a song. Come back with more JM DeBord. We're back. Shade 45. We got Dream Interpreter here. JM DeBord. Who knew? So many people. Well, I guess everybody dreams, huh? What if you don't dream? Or what if you don't remember your dreams? What does that mean?
Everybody dreams. It's just that probably more than half the population, they don't really have any recall of their dreams. So what the first step, of course, is for them to try to have better recall. And it's really, man, it's giving it the time as soon as you wake up to just think about, okay, what was I just dreaming? It can be hard even for me after 25 years of doing this to pull up the dream memories. But as soon as I get a flash or even just a little piece of a dream, man, then it's off to the races and I can pull all that up. But yeah, man, you have to dream. There was just some research that came out recently. It said that, man, if you don't dream, like they use that shit down in Guantanamo. They torture people with that by keeping them awake for days on end and waking them up as soon as they start dreaming, and keeping them from getting dream sleep. And it can really mess with you if you don't dream.
Oh yeah, it'll fuck you up real tough. No one's brought this shit up yet, but like I used to get sleep paralysis, and often when I had the sleep paralysis dream, there was like something dark in my room, like a dark creature or some shit like that. Is that common?
Yeah, man, it is. And it's basic. What happens is sleep paralysis is, what it is, but I'll explain it real quick, is when you're dreaming, your body is, the signals coming from your brain down through your nervous system to your body, they are muted. So you don't act out the dream. You might have a little bit of leakage. Like if you see somebody kicking their legs or whatever when they're asleep, they might be dreaming that they're running or something at the time, and there'll be a little bit of leakage. But for the most part, you stay down. But when you have sleep paralysis, what happens is you wake up and your body is still in that muted state. So now what happens is your eyes are open, but you are still dreaming and you have that overlay of imagery over your waking reality. Most people react with fear to that. And then the dream, since you're still dreaming, what it does is it turns that fear into imagery. So for some people, it's witches, and other people, it's demon, and some people, it's shadows. And I tell you what's another very common one? Aliens, man. People think a lot of alien abduction experiences actually go back to sleep paralysis.
That's crazy. I never thought about that shit. So motherfuckers just have sleep paralysis and thought that they were abducted by fucking aliens. Let's go to Dwight in New Orleans. Go ahead, Dwight.
I had a dream about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, about killing a shitload of people. I don't remember every aspect. I don't remember if it was a war scenario, but I know I was killing some motherfuckers.
All right. Well, you know, a dream like that is going to be, first of all, step back from it, okay? In very few cases do people actually dream about something, then go out and do it. And it's also rarely is it connected with anything that you actually want to do. Okay, usually there's some kind of symbolism there. So if you are killing a bunch of people in a war, you know, it could be something like you're experiencing a lot of stress at work. People are coming at you from all directions, you know. It could be that you are taking aim at things in your life. Those people that you're shooting at in the dream, you know, they could represent something that doesn't really have anything to do with people. It could be responsibilities that you have at work, and it's shown as a war because you feel like you go to war, you know, when you're at work. It could be ideas that you have. It could be your to-do list. You know, there's a lot of different possibilities. Now, the real key usually is, how do you feel about it? You know, are you sitting there feeling terrified that the enemy is overrunning your position, or are you taking aim and enjoying the target practice?
Killing the people don't bother me. Kind of emotionless for that. But what you were saying makes sense. I got a lot on my shoulders at work.
So yeah,
that's probably the most common, man. When I find dreams with these really, you know, feeling like you're at war, you know, I've helped with thousands of dreams, so I've got a big, you know, database to draw from. And I would say the most common source of dreams about being in war and really being in combat is it goes back to something that's going on at work or something else that's causing you a lot of stress.
Let's go to Juan in Florida. Go ahead, Juan.
How you doing? Basically, my dream is I constantly, since I was a kid, been having this dream where I hear like a lot of voices in the background. I can't make out what they're saying, but at the same time, I hear like a rumbling sound. And I was just trying to see if maybe you have an idea of what this could be, because this is a dream that I've had my whole life.
You know, Jude, when you've had sleep paralysis, did you hear anything with it?
I don't remember. I just remember like not being able to move. The other thing I get too is I think that I tremble in my sleep, so I feel like there's an earthquake, and then I check and see if there's an earthquake, and there wasn't an earthquake. But
you know, a dream can take something that you're experiencing while you're asleep and turn it into dream imagery. You know, so if you, you know, you could have a loud noise in your bedroom and you dream that there's a gunshot or something like that, you know. So or it could take something like you fell asleep on your arm and you dream that there's a snake wrapped around your arm. It takes what you're experiencing and it turns it into imagery. Now, the reason why I asked Juan, the reason, you know, if there was any connection with sleep paralysis, is because sometimes those sort of strong vibrations and sounds that you hear when you're asleep are actually the result of trying to break that spell that's on you. You know, when you are in sleep paralysis, you can't move. That's why they call it paralysis. And people can have this experience of feeling really weird about it, and they try to shake or vibrate themselves awake.
Let's go to Diana in Detroit. Go ahead, Diana. Hold on one second, Diana. Go ahead, Diana.
Okay, for maybe the last year now, I keep having this dream that people are chasing me around with heroin needles trying to get me to use heroin.
Because it's awesome.
Okay, I've never seen heroin in real life. I don't know anyone that's an addict, but it's made me terrified. I can't even watch a movie where people are shooting up now. It makes me scared.
You know, I had somebody I helped with a dream like this, and she was being forcibly injected with heroin, and it was like a nasty needle and all this stuff. And what we boiled it down to was that she had a habit of taking on other people's problems. And so it's like something that those problems get into her and they affect her in a way. You know, you feel that shit down inside your body. So the dream is saying that it's something that's actually, it's getting into you in a way that you don't want to happen. Now, that's one possibility. Here's a play on words. What is a heroine? A heroine is the hero, is the female hero. You know, if you are afraid of playing the hero, then you could dream about it as avoiding a needle full of heroin. So there are different ways of looking at it. I can just throw out these possibilities for you. Look at how you feel about that needle and ask yourself, what is the thing that I'm trying to avoid getting into me and becoming a part of me, especially in the way that I feel?
Oh, or maybe like the needle is a penis shooting a load.
It is not. I'm not terrified of those. The needle is terrifying. Okay. But I think it could be taking on people's problems because of what I do for work, so that would make a lot of sense.
What do you do for work?
I'm an attorney.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Defense attorney.
Yeah. You can see that, you know, and here's another thing is you know, a needle is something that's sharp and people can make like sharp comments or you can have incisive thinking or something like that. It's something to consider. I don't really see that in your dream, but I just wanted to throw it out there as a possibility because when people use something like needles, they can mean like, hey, that guy is needle sharp. It means he's really focused, you know, or she's really focused.
That's something to think about, Diana. Let's go to Kim in Georgia. Go ahead, Kim.
A while back, my husband was having a dream that he was playing basketball. And I woke him up because he had me in a headlock screaming, give me the ball, give me the ball. So I wanted to ask, what level of consciousness or what type of dream could you be having where you are active in the dream? I mean, he grabbed my head and had me in a headlock, saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. That's how I woke up. And he was still asleep.
Wow. You know, do you have anything to say about that, Jude?
I got to add on afterwards that you might be able to help me, but go ahead and answer her shit.
But I'm serious. It really concerned me. I thought maybe he was playing around. I don't know what was going on.
Isn't that like a type of sleepwalking?
You know, it is kind of, it can, you know, we were talking, this goes back to our conversation about sleep paralysis. Usually you will not act out the things that are going on in your dreams, but sometimes those nerve impulses are so strong that you can act them out. Now, when you sleepwalk, there is energy that is in your body that is not getting out of you in during your day. I know a lady who was sleepwalking and doing it habitually, and we took it back to the fact that she could be careless about things. She had broken a toe and she had cut herself with a knife, and this had all happened in the last week. And she's like, and then all of a sudden I started sleepwalking. And I was like, your body is acting out something that your mind is trying to get you to acknowledge, which is that you need to be more careful with yourself. You need to watch out for this stuff. So in the case of your husband, for one, he probably did not know that he was acting it out. I don't think he was making that up. But two, there could
What, you thought he was abusing you on the side or some shit like that?
He had me in a headlock, and he's like yanking, saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we're both asleep. And I really wake him up to get
You really think your husband was beating you and then came up with an excuse?
Not beating me, but it was kind of weird because I've never noticed anybody else in their sleep, talking and acting out. And I don't know.
It does happen.
Just seemed kind of
it does. It does. It happens. There are some times that you can act out things in your sleep. There was just some guy lately who woke up from a nightmare and he had knifed up his wife.
Whoa.
This was down south. This was just a few weeks ago.
God damn.
Carolina. And, he said that it's on the 911 call. He calls up and he's like, I had this crazy nightmare and I woke up and, my wife's dead. There's blood all over the place and I got this knife in my hand, and he actually acted that out when he was asleep. And he said that it was because he took too much of this quercetin, the cough medicine, which creates a dissociative state. Like there's people who are doing the cannibal.
Wait, where do you get that shit from? Where do you get that cough syrup?
Yeah, man, no doubt.
Is it like over the counter?
I think.
Whoa, dude, I'm getting some of that.
But it's kind of like PCP. You know, PCP is a dissociative drug.
Yeah.
And people are heavy into that shit. They can do things that they would never do otherwise. Now, that
happened with me and some ketamine. Like, I did some ketamine, and then I came to, and I was butt-ass naked, and I was just wearing a little turquoise sweater, and I was holding my phone, and I was like, what have I done? Did I put my dick out on the internet? And I didn't. So that was good. But, like, I don't know how I ended up butt-ass naked, like Winnie the Pooh and that shit.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, people can do things in their sleep. They can act out what they're seeing in the dream. I mean, the head is pretty round, and he's saying, you know, give me the ball, give me the ball.
Yeah, maybe you got a big-ass head, Kim. You got a big-ass basketball head?
No. Fuck you, dude.
It's your big ass orange back. You fake tanning, you got a big ass orange basketball head? Talk to me.
No, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't think he made that shit up. I think he was really dreaming it. But here's the thing I would ask though, is there something that he is trying to express subconsciously? It's not likely, but it is possible, and it might be time to have a real good talk with him.
Well, there you go,
Maybe
Kim.
I will. Thank you, guys.
No doubt. Yo, I used to do this shit to my, like, I don't do it anymore because I don't have a girlfriend, but when I slept with my girlfriends, I'd halfway asleep try to smash, like, and it got to the point where I was afraid to sleep in the same bed just casually with, you know, like, you know, sometimes you have to share a bed with a family member or something. Like, I wouldn't even want to be in the same bed as them because I was afraid I was going to try to fuck because I was so used to like lizard brain fucking my girlfriends.
Yeah, man, and there are people who've they've had sex in their sleep and didn't remember it. So that you can do, you know, it's like sleep fucking. I mean, you know, it does happen.
I got a mean stroke.
You know, and here's the thing, man, is that there are all kinds of things. When you're asleep, your guard is down, your filters are off. Your body can start acting out things, especially if you got a bunch of shit that's repressed down in there, or there's a lot of stress or pressure trying to get out of you. You know, I've known people who were like, you know, hitting their girlfriend or boyfriend or their wife or spouse or whatever in a dream. You know, they're in bed with each other and they just start slugging on them. And, you know, when you really dig down deep into it, they're actually expressing something that they're feeling about that person, but they've repressed it so much that they can't express it consciously.
You guys can go to Reddit and holler at my man J.M. DeBord, and he also has a book out. I don't have the paper in front of me. It's Encyclopedia of the. Can you tell me again? Yeah.
Dream Interpretation Dictionary, J.M. DeBord. Yeah, man.
J.M.
Really
DeBord.
Cool. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in there. We didn't even talk about the fisting dreams or Donald Trump dreams or any of that stuff, man. It's
fisting.
It's a real, yeah, man. It's a real book. Yeah, guy.
What about lucid dreaming? Can you teach people how to lucid dream in there? You teach people how to do that?
It's something that's in my first book, Dreams 1, 2, 3, but you have to do normal dream interpretation first. Then you can take control of your dreams and use them to act out anything you want to, like a virtual reality.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. All right, J.M. DeBord, thanks so much for answering all these calls. People loved you. The phone lines are ringing off the hook. We just ran out of time, sir. J.M. DeBord.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, Jude, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. All right, that was J.M. DeBord. Y'all don't go anywhere. More All Out Show to come.